Morning, guys. Good morning. Mic check. You guys hear me all right? Just making sure everybody can hear me. We'll pray for no glitches in the software. Got a lot to talk about. All right, good. Thanks, Doc. Guys, I'm on Instagram live right now as well as YouTube. Instagram offers the vertical format. If you prefer the horizontal, you can jump over and at Student Alpha on YouTube. I also broadcast my lives there every morning. You're going to want to follow me there because I have exclusive content that I don't put on Instagram. If you have questions or tickers, throw them in the comment box. We'll talk about them after I get through my swing portion of the report. We will start here in about 30 seconds, guys. We'll start crushing it. Give me a second. I didn't post my report to my Discord. Let's get that done. So one of the advantages, guys, like I know I say a lot, you might not be able to take notes or keep up, but my Discord members get this in printed and written form. So let me upload it. And then we'll start. Again, questions, stickers, guys, put them in the comment box. And then we'll get rocking and rolling. All right. There we go. Okay. I'm ready. Are you guys ready? All right. Happy Monday. What is today? The 8th. 8th of December. Are we going to have a Santa Claus rally? That's the question. I'm trying to fight off a cold right now. So my links are in the bio. Go check them out. All right. So data today, we had an 8:30 Empire State Manufacturing Survey. Really didn't move the markets. It's not a significant data point, but one that's listed. 10 a.m. we have Home Builder Confidence Index, which I don't think is going to move the market either, but it's listed. All right, let's get into the S&P 500, which I have up here. This is the futures product known as ES. Open price 68.83, high a day 68.93, low a day 68.72, resistance at high a day and 69.10, support at low a day and 6800. The bias is long above our white line at 68.74. Guys, that is the PCE anchored VWAP also. So we have the anchored VWAP, the daily VWAP. Could have caught this long here at about 8:45. 104.10, which is tough. I'm going to talk about all these today being very range bound. Guys, unfortunately, the bad news is I don't see any of the futures products that we trade outside of an unscheduled news event or stupid tweet from the president shaking the markets, right? I believe that we're going to stay range bound until 2 p.m. Wednesday when FOMC drops its rate cut decision. After that, I think all hell breaks loose. So, my war room is going to be very patient today. And you should too. But mean reversion levels, next mean reversion level in this is 7,000 and below is 6,500. The Russell 2000, RTY M2K. Make sure my Instagram folks can see it. Of course, if you want to see the full chart, jump over to YouTube. You get the horizontal view. What's up, Morgan? See you over there on YouTube. All right. You're killing it, Morgan. Another $500 this morning. It's crazy. She's been learning from me. It's made $2,000 in the last week. It's awesome. All right. Open price 25.28. High day 25.38. Low a day 25.23. Resistance at high day in 25.90. Support low a day in 2500. We're long above the white line at 25.32. Yeah. We just had a long read in here. It's paid 5 of the 10 points that we would hunt. Broke the algorithmic high. It's been very range bound, right? You see this little indicator here? This is our magic matrix. It calls all this momentum. So here was the buy signal. Here was the momentum confirmation. And then look what happened. See that green dot after our signal? You see that right there? Yep. That's what separates us from all other war rooms. It's my little magical indicator down there based on all my trading experience and education. So, secret sauce. All right, guys, let's get into gold. I know a lot of people are interested in gold. Again, I sound terrible. I'm fighting a cold. Gold has short bias. ES, RTY have long bias. Again, everything's kind of range bound. Yeah. There we go. All right, folks. For XAU, the underlier, subtract 30 from my numbers. Open price 42.28. High a day 42.48. Low a day 42.25. Resistance high a day in 4,300. Support low a day in 41.85. The bias is short, but compressed below this 42.40. There is the anchored VWAP. We can't overcome it. If you look, we're struggling there. Watch the underlying because all these prices here constantly flirt with the 4,200 diamond, which is support in the underlier. So our next long read would be above the PCE data point. Technically it's down here, but I want to see it break that. Here are your range trading. Got a lot to talk about in my war room. Make sure you guys come. I'm going to explain all this. Silver. You know, when days you got colds, caffeine just doesn't do anything. You guys ever notice that? Again, I apologize for sounding like crap, but the information's great. All right, so silver open price 58.76, high day 59.06, lower day 57.76, resistance at high day in 60, support at lower day in 58. The bias is long above 58.76. You can see how we're just crushed in bias here. Not long, but that is the bias. PC data, anchor VWAP, we can't overcome it. Right now, that is resistance. I think your buy is above that. Beta is very high on this. The data is long. Mean reversion is 55 and 60. For the underlier, on these numbers, subtract 43. Platinum. If you guys have questions or tickers, throw them in the comment box. I'll get to them in just a moment. Platinum. I like swing trading this. Open price 16.61. For the underlier, subtract 42, guys. Open price 16.83, low a day. Excuse me. Sorry about that. 1652 is your low a day. Resistance at high a day in 1700. Support at low a day in 1600. I like buying 1600 on a swing. The bias is long above 1664 right here. Again, we're floating with bias. And again, this one is doing the opposite. Notice how the other metals are struggling at the PC anchored VWAP. This one is holding it. Now, when you set these anchored VWAPs, I like to name them so that when I look at those lines later down the road, I can remember what they are. And I eventually disqualify them once other data rolls in. So it's being held as support right now. 9-1 name oscillators are 23 and 35. We'll talk about them when they're important. The VIX is at 16, which is just slow buying. Tesla's at 448. NVIDIA's 182, kind of the same numbers as before. BBAI is at 686. Remember that buy zone is $5 to $6. It went up over 7 on Friday. It's got to get up over 8 before I lift my stop loss. Bitcoin's at 91.6. Ethereum's at 31.50. If you want to learn how to do this, see what I see. I have a money back guarantee on my course. I have a free Discord and then a free trial in my VIPs if you want to be a savage and trade with me every day. I have a very high retention rate in my war room, guys. Very high retention rate. People come, they stay because they're making money and learning. All right, let's see what questions you guys have. Yeah. Jesse, Morgan, you guys like YouTube better? Yeah, a lot of people like that horizontal format. Remember, I'm always live simultaneously on Instagram and YouTube. Once you go over to YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button. I have a lot of extensive content over there that's not on Instagram. All right, scrolling through your questions, folks. Questions and tickers. AMGN is a ticker. Oop. Let's see here. AMGN. Let's get over to it. See what we got going on with AMGN. Zoom out to the daily. Let's go a little bit further out. It pays a dividend. Let's go all on this bad boy. AMGN. I've looked at this one before. We're going to set an IPO anchored VWAP because I don't have one. I like to make that one white. You guys get to see how how this is done. Then we want to find the all-time high. We want to check on the bottom for splits. I haven't seen what. 170, 260, 329. Wow, we're at all-time highs. IPO anchor VWAP's way lower. So you want to also set an anchor VWAP to the change in trend. You can see this flatline channeling, and this was right here was clearly the change in trend right there on that candle. So we're going to put a change of trend anchored VWAP there. You guys taking notes? This is how you do TA. This is how I start at least. And then let's do a regression trend line just because. Starts at the same point. All right, you're hitting trend resistance. This is measured off of 2 standard deviations. You know, we also need to run a fib here. You're going to run a fib to try to see the discount. This might be a double top John Fane, just temporarily. Well, no, it's not. Sorry. Broke in the middle. So if you're long right now, depending on where you're entered, I would be on the other side of this, either just below at 275 or if you need to lock in more, apply 299. If you're looking for a discount, that's exactly where you're looking. We're going to call it anywhere from 275 to 299 to look for a discount entry if you like the thesis. I don't see any splits in there either. So there you go. Of course, we can always talk about it in the war room, my friend. It's a healthy trend. Just wait for the discount. Remember, in strong trends, they do discount. All right. Like I said, all my links are in my bio, guys. If you have questions, how to find me. All right, no other questions. You guys are easy today. You bet. So, again, I'm live every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me know in the comments, did you get the alert if you follow me that I went live? Because Instagram is loving to suppress me right now. That's why I'm constantly putting the stories out to remind people to just come to my profile, right? I'll tell you when I'm not going to be live. You'll know. I mean, without fail, I show up. I show up to help you guys out. All right, so let's get into my pre-market volume leader. And then if there's any other questions, you guys can throw them there. I might have a minute or two after I do that. Oh, I'm sorry, I see one up there on YouTube. UPST. Let's look at it real quick. I got a minute. Upstart. Yep. Upstart Holdings. I'm zooming back. You can see I've done a lot of TA on it. That was on its initial launch. This is very, very common in IPOs. I talked about this before in my other lives, like with FIG. You get this extreme spike in hopiism, comes all the way back down to IPO price, and then slowly does this if it's good stock. Remember me talking about that, guys? Well, let's see if that really happened here. Oops. Let's look. Huh. Yeah. So it's slowly trending up. Not uncommon in these super hyped launches. But regardless, you need to have that IPO anchored VWAP. It should be white. You can use your own color coding, guys. I use them because I remember what the VWAP means and I don't have to label them. The all-time high anchored VWAP, we make that red. More than likely, they're running together. That often happens when prices suppress like this. Then we fast forward. There are no splits. That's good. All right, so you have overhead resistance. Right now you have price support down around $30, 30 to 32. The daily is flipping bias long here. You have overhead resistance at 54 and then 64. So if you like this on thesis and you want to trade this, you could buy in around here, put a stop, depending on, you could put a stop loss. I wouldn't go any wider than that lower wick, or just a few bucks out. Try to run it to this anchored VWAP. If it makes it through, you can run to that one or top of the kind of current channel. However, the more clear sign, stronger play, is a close of that line. A 1 or 2 day close filter above that, and then you're going to need to get through this anchored VWAP. So these are two pretty strong anchored VWAPs. There's a little bit of meat on the bone. If you have questions, you can always hit me up in my free Discord, and I'll throw you the chart in there. All right. What's my view on gold? Go look at my latest reel. It's the best advice I have for you. I've already covered gold today. We're range bound and going into FOMOC. Not that I don't want to tell you, I'm just short on time. Range bound going into FOMOC, but the overall trade plan on a swing is my latest reel. Go look at it. It's labeled in my profile as gold. 2 clear trade setups. You can't miss them. All right, let me get in my pre-market volume leader, guys. Good questions. Thanks for asking. Morgan, if I don't get to it, we can look at it in the war room. So WVE is a pre-market volume leader with a move up of 76% on phase 1 drug trial news. It's a GLP-1 drug. You know how popular those are right now. So this is hopiatism buying. The pre-market low was 655. Pre-market high was 1450. That's why I'm demanding you see the green box, a strong discount. You know, with this kind of movement, we would look to the VWAP, right? Because it's a decent trend. Phase 1 drug trial news, I want a discount. And it's only a 10% trade. So that's what I'm looking for. Look for my signal in this box. Run it back to the VWAP. Like arbitrarily, let's say I got in at 10. There's $1 there to the VWAP. You see how that works? But I put these in my free Discord, the pre-market volume leaders, so you can look at them. But if you want to see the adjustments in the live entries or called off of the entries, which is very important, you got to be in my war room, folks. Invest in yourself. Come trade with us. I have a high retention rate. You can ask any of the guys here or ladies that trade with me. It's well worth the time spent. All right, guys. Without being said, I'm going to head over there. Remember, I'm here, back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thanks for view on the S&P 500. It's going to run sideways with a slight upward bias running into FOMOC. All right, guys. Have a good one.